welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all doing good and I hope you are keeping safe over this time. Today I am here to do a little review tutorial situation on the Norvina Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina Volume 4. I am absolutely buzzing about this. I can't wait to put this on my eyes. I have no idea what I'm going to do. We're just going to see what happens. But if I can get it open. How stunning. I love that this is a wee bit more of a wearable palette compared to the other palettes they've done, but you've still got your pops of pink. I do notice a lot of shades in here that I would use for like an everyday makeup look. I do have to say I'm kind of disappointed it doesn't have a black. It always disappoints me whenever an eyeshadow palette doesn't have a black in it. But other than that, I am in love. I love this colour, A3, and I love C4. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to see what happens. We are also on a different tripod today and a different background. Still sort of the same background, but we're back kind of where we were, just to show you my beautiful flowers that my boyfriend sent me. Aren't they stunning? You can't even really get to see them in all their goodness and glory, but I just couldn't not do a YouTube video with them in it. And also I got press-on nails, which, how pretty. I actually feel like a girl again, which is so good. So I'm basically just going to get straight into it. I will zoom you in a little bit so you can see everything a wee bit clearer. So yeah, I'll say these are probably close enough. So with this palette, I received this in PR, so I did get the ABH eyeshadow primer. I have only used that like once or twice, so I'm not really overly, to be fair, I've used it more than once and twice. I would tend to use it if I'm using like an everyday, like kind of natural look, and it is a really bomb eyeshadow primer. However, I'm not familiar enough with using it with my like more intense looks and stuff, so I don't want to use it and then not like the palette because of it. I already know I'm gonna love this palette because I love all the other Norvina palettes, and if it seems to be the same consistency as them, so I am just gonna go in with my normal eyeshadow primer, which is the Be Perfect eyeshadow priming base. And I'm just gonna pop that straight on my lid. I already have applied a thin layer before filming, so I'm just applying another layer. I always like to take this in 2 layers. I feel like it works best that way. I'm also going to just drag a wee bit out here just in case I decide to bring my shadows out, which, knowing me, I probably will. And then I am going to just pat that in all over my eye using a Colourpop E13 brush. I think for my first colour I'm going to go in with the shade E4, which is this one here. So it's a nice dark purpley kind of maroony shade, and I'm using a Morphe M506, and I'm going to just basically press and wiggle this through the crease like I always do when applying my first colour. Okay, and then once I've got that colour applied, I'll basically just use the same brush and slightly tickle over the edges of that just to soften and diffuse the colour a wee bit more. Okay, so that's the first colour down. I am pretty happy with how it's looking. I do notice a little bit of slight darker in the crease and slightly lighter here, but that could have been just with the amount that I packed on. I find if it looks a bit like this, sometimes by the time it comes around to finishing the look it looks fine, sometimes it doesn't, it just kind of depends. So I think I'm going to go in with the shade A3, which is this one here, and I'm going to take this in the front part of the eye. This shade does have a tiny bit of shimmer to it, but nothing too crazy. So I'm going to take this slightly over the top of that colour, slightly above, just at the front part of the eyelid. And I forgot to mention, but I'm using a Inglot 48SS brush. Next I'm going to go in with another Inglot 48SS brush, and I'm going to use the shade A5, so this one here. And I'm going to take this everywhere where we didn't apply the previous shade, so just all around here on the eye. Just using the same technique, so picking up a little bit of shadow on my brush and taking it 50-50 over the top of the shadow, 50% onto the skin. And then I'm just going to blend that out a wee tiny bit more using the shade E1. So it's more of like a baby peachy pink, and I'm just using a Eva 228 to do this, and just kind of pulling this back towards the temple. And this is just going to really soften that out and diffuse the shade. Now I'm just going in with a clean blending brush and just softening the edges of that. I always do this to make sure that my blend is really nice and smooth. I'm just making sure to do the same to the inner part as well. Now I'm just going to go back in with the previous shades and kind of build everything back up. So I'm going in with the shade A3 and taking it to intensify the inner part again, just to make sure that we haven't lost any pigmentation and stuff from our blend. And then I'm going to go in with A5 and just intensify that up again. Okay, so I just nipped off camera really quickly and did the same to the other eye. I also went in with a bit of black through the crease, just to intensify it up a wee bit. Obviously this palette does not have black, so I didn't show that on camera. I am experiencing a little bit of patching. I'm not sure if you can see, but I'm not sure if just my eyeshadow primer isn't want to play ball today, or my blending skills isn't wanting to play today. Obviously pinks and purples are, well, pinks aren't, but purples generally tend to be one of the hardest colours to formulate, so I'm not sure if that's anything to do with it. But I am experiencing a little bit of patching, but I'm going to be cutting the crease there anyway, so it's kind of fine. But yeah, I am going to do a half cut crease today, and I'm going to use the Inglot's Duraline first of all, just to mark out my cut crease. I've been doing this recently and it actually is making doing a cut crease a little bit easier, especially because I sometimes have a problem where I sometimes take it a wee bit too high, or yeah, just basically have a disaster. So I've been using Duraline to kind of remove the eyeshadow away and fake my cut crease before I go in with my actual base to cut the crease. So I'm using this on a Eva 237 brush, and I'm just going to basically map out my cut crease and take away any of the excess shadow. Okay, so once I'm kind of happy with my initial shape of the cut crease, I'm then going to go in with the P. Louise and Mitchell Acid Rain collection, and I'm going in with the shade Blank Canvas. I always pop just a tiny bit of this on the back of my hand, and the brush I like to use for doing my cut crease is a Inglot 22T. So it's a nice and sharp brush, and it just makes it 10 times easier to do your cut crease. Yeah, so once I've kind of got my crease cut and brought most of the product down on the lid, I'm just going to then take a bit more of that base on a fluffy brush and start to pack it over the lid, just so that I'm not bringing too much onto the lid. And I've already cleaned the lid obviously with the Duraline first, so I don't need like a massive amount of product. Then what I'm going to do is take a small fluffy brush and just blend over that base and the eyeshadow, just to kind of merge the two together. And this is where I'm realising the patchiness even more so. So there's literally like a massive gap of shadow, and I really don't know if it's me just having an off day or it's the palette. Like, I never experienced this with any of the other ones, but like, what's going on there? What I'm going to do is take a tiny bit of my Be Perfect base, and I'm going to take this on that fluffy brush, the same brush that I used to apply the P. Louise Blank Canvas, and I'm actually just going to pack this over the top of where that shadow is. So obviously stuff like this happens in makeup, but there's wee ways of knowing how to fix it. So at the minute this will look a little bit crazy, so please bear with me, and hopefully it comes together, otherwise I will be stopping filming. Just be really careful diffusing this into the shadow as well. And then what I'm going to do is go back in with my Morphe M506, and I'm going in with the first shade we used, which was the E4. And I'm just going to pack this just over where we applied that before. So hopefully that'll try and even it out a little bit. Take the shade E5, and I'm just going to place this slightly over the top, slightly onto the base. I'm next going to go in with a bit of the NYX eyeshadow primer. sorry, the NYX glitter glue. And I'm just taking a tiny bit of that on a Inglot 20p brush. This brush is actually discontinued, but you can get the Inglot 13p, I'm pretty sure, which is basically the same brush with a longer handle. And I'm just applying this to everywhere where we applied that blank canvas base. So basically just all where we cut the crease. And then I'm going to go in with the shade A2 in the palette, which is like a lilac shimmery shade, and I'm just going to pack that all over the top of that. And then I'm just going to end with a tiny bit with E5 again and just merging it between the shimmer and the matte. So we've sort of fixed the situation as best as we can. I'm going to go in with my liquid liner now. So I'm just going to go in with the Anastasia's black liquid liner and just draw a line along my lash line just to frame my lashes. I always bring this thin in the inner corner, going thicker to the outer corner. Then I'm just going to take a black shadow and smoke out the end of that liner just by pressing the black over the top. I have no idea what is going on today, like I feel like I just can't for the life of me blend. Okay, so I literally just did the same to the other side off camera. This eye didn't actually go as patchy as this eye did, so it obviously was something to do with how I applied my shadows on that side. Either that or I'm just having a wee bit of dryness in that eye, so I don't think it's actually down to the palette. I think it's down to me just having an off day of makeup. We all get days like this, it's totally normal. I thought I was the only one, but it's actually completely normal to have days where you just can't blend. Yeah, I'm not going to get too upset about it, and I'm just going to continue on. So I'm just going in with a tiny bit of concealer underneath my eye, and I'm using the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C6. And then I'm just going to blend that in with a fluffy brush. And I like to drag this quite far down because it just means that whenever I'm going in with my foundation and all later on, it makes life 10 times easier. And I'm just going to clean up this wee edge here as well. Yeah, it's such a bummer that this has turned out bad on the side that I take photos with as well. So I'm going to go in with Inglot's Duraline. No, I'm not. I'm going to go in with Inglot 77 gel liner in my waterline, and I'm just popping this in a with a fluffy brush so that I can really get it in there. And then I'm going to use a Zoeva 238 Luxe Precise Shader. I'm just going to use this to blend out my black eyeliner. And then I'm going to go in with the shade C4 in the palette, which is the lilac. I'm not even lifting the palette up at this point anymore because I've had enough today. And I'm just going to blend that. I had so much hope for this look today, and I'm really, honestly, not impressed. I'm just going to blend that out with a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to go back in with E4 and intensify. I'm just going to go in with the shade D2 in the palette and just add more heat to this look probably. I'm generally debating taking this all off and just giving up today because... Okay guys, so that is the finished look. I added some glitter and stars and stuff, and yeah, just to try and make it a little bit more nice. Obviously today was not a good makeup day, so yeah. My overall thoughts on the palette, I would rather try it on a day where I'm having a better day. But I really like the colours in it. I would like to try the browns because obviously there is a lot of browns and stuff in the palette. I just feel like this shade right here kind of played me, but it could have been down to me. Might not have been the shade because sometimes that just generally happens. But yeah, I like the look in the end. I like the palette. I will definitely use the palette again, and I do want to try and play with it a little bit more. If you would like to see a look on the palette again, maybe using like more of the brown tones, just let me know and I will get that filmed for you, and hopefully it will be more of a success than this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you somewhat enjoyed me having a hard time doing makeup. Yeah, so leave a comment of what videos you would like to see in the future. If you could please like and subscribe, it would mean the absolute world, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye!